Hey there, it's Kelly from Kellyscards.ca, and I thank you for joining me for this tutorial that I'm doing for Stamps Plus Fun Equals Creativity. This week's challenge is a sketch challenge. I'm going to be using this paper line, this MME paper line, which I believe I bought at Michael's, and it's just some nice colors of blues, yellows, and whitey tones to the papers. The image I'm going to use is this adorable baby sleeping on this moon, wearing the hat and the little star. For this card, I'm going to use a black card base, and I'm picked out a few papers. Now what my plan is I'm going to actually sew along here just to add some detail to this card. So I'm going to do that sewing, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I come back. Okay, I'm back, and I did the sewing along this edge, and now this is going to sit down here. So to adhere this portion, I'm going to find the end on my score tape here, and I'm just going to run some score tape down the edges like so. When I have little edges like this from the sewing machine, the little edge of the threads, I just cut them off, or I can tuck them under. So when I pull this off, I can just tuck that piece under there. And then instead of putting this straight on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it at a bit of an angle. So instead of putting it straight on, I'm going to put it on an angle like this, just to add a little bit of interest to the card. So it'll look like that. And I've also picked out some other papers from the same collection. I found this yellow pattern paper, which I really liked. I think it will definitely bring out a lot of the yellow in the image. So I've decided I'm going to put it on like this, and then this piece will kind of be at an angle as well, just to add some variance of where everything's sitting. So for this piece, I'm going to again use score tape on the two longer edges, like that. When playing with your sketches, you can move things around before you adhere them down, and that will help you place your items on your card exactly where you want them. So now I'm going to put this piece right there. And then I've also picked out this pattern paper from the same collection, and I think I'm going to have this one going at an angle just to keep the theme of the angles going in this card. And again, I'm going to decide which side I want this going. I think I want this one kind of leaning this way, like that. Okay, now that we've got this down like this, we'll bring in our image now, and I think I'd like to put it up on pop dots. I thought about backing it with some black paper or yellow paper, but it just didn't seem to look right. I'm going to get these little scrapbook adhesive squares, and I just chop mine in half, because half the time you don't really need the big squares all over, and you want to cover all the corners anyway. So I put it in the four corners, like so, and then I put two in the middle, and that will give me full coverage across the image. So now we're going to put our image on, and I think I'm just going to center it to the main card base. To add some more yellow into this card, I thought this flower would look really nice here, and I picked out a blue brad. We're going to put the brad in the flower, and then I think it will look really great on the corner. And as you can see, the sketch is starting to come together, like so. And I'm just going to add the flower here, like that. And I think that looks really nice. And I really would like to put a sentiment down here. And this is just a stamp set that I don't even remember where I got. It was probably years ago that I picked it up. So I thought this would look really great stamped down here. So I went through my distress inks to try to find an appropriate color. This chipped sapphire seemed to fit perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to center the line of the ink with the yellow that happens to be centered on the card. So I got just a little bit of ink there and I'm not too happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of these wooden stars out, and I think what I'm going to do is place just a little star right there, and I'm just going to use some Tombow multi glue and just adhere this little star. It's very little, but it will go perfectly with the star in the image and it won't look out of place. So now that star is adhered, I thought I would adhere one on the other side just to balance the card. So again, I'm just going to use a little bit of multi glue. And when adhering these little stars and little wooden objects, you really need to push them down to make sure that they stay put. We don't want them falling off the card. You could use hot glue as well. Hot glue is a good adhesive for things like this. Some people like glossy accents, but I just want to add a little sparkle to the baby's outfit and the star and perhaps the moon's hat. So I'm going to use a Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer to that star. And I think I'll leave the moon's hat alone, but I'll add a little bit to the baby, just to add a little bit of glitter, a little something. And if you want more glitter, you can just go over it again. The more times that you go over it, the more glitter there will be. And now we can look at the finished card. So as you can see, there is the sketch. And if I tilt this, you can kind of see the glimmer off of the star and the baby. So there's my card for this week's challenge over at Stamps and Fun Equal Creativity. I just love this image with the baby on the moon. It's so sweet, and the papers really work well with this image. I also love how within the sketch I still altered it a little bit, adding the papers on an angle. Feel free to play around with the sketch and make your own cards. Check out the other design team's cards on our challenge blog. The links will be down below, and please check me out on my website at Kellyscards.ca. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day.